Hey guys, welcome back. Today I just wanted to give you a quick heads up and a reminder that if you haven't started your tomatoes and peppers yet for this year and you live in the northeastern part of the United States, like, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, etc., it's pretty much time to get those started. I'm actually a little bit late getting mine started. I should have had them maybe almost not quite 2 weeks ago, but somewhere around there. So I just planted mine last night. I'll show you that before I wrap this video up, just to show you what I've got set up over there. But I wanted to talk about my seeds for a few minutes. These are seeds I bought online last year. They're heirloom seeds, and I just have them stored in all these coffee cans and stuff. They were frozen, so they should be fine. I'll just go through and show you some of the things that I have. I'll tell you what I planted last year, what worked and what didn't work, and what I'm hopefully going to plant this year. So first, this bag has the early Sunglow sweet corn and Blue Lake bush beans. Now, I put them in these Ziplocs to organize them a little better, because the place that I ordered them from, they just put them in these little mini Ziploc pouches like this with a label on it, and that's how they send them. And it saves them money, and it makes the seeds cheaper for me. So it works out good, but I did organize them a little bit. Now, last year, the early Sunglow sweet corn came out great. This year, because of the nature of corn, when you plant corn, it has the germination rate deteriorates very rapidly after the first year. So there's a chance that some of this may not even germinate. So I will buy more seeds for this year. And of all varieties anyway, I'll probably buy more. But I will definitely buy more corn. I did not harvest any for replanting for this year because I'm a dodo and I forgot. The other thing I have here is the Blue Lake bush beans. These did really good. These are, wonderful if you like beans. Now, the next thing I have here is top marked cantaloupe, sugar baby watermelons, and sugar pumpkins. And last year I planted the sugar baby watermelons and the sugar pumpkins. I didn't get the cantaloupes in. This year I hope to get cantaloupe in. The problem I ran across was that the sugar pumpkins did really, really well. The watermelons did okay. I only got 3 or 4 melons, but what happened was, because the pumpkins did so good, they choked out my entire garden and my watermelons by the end of the season. I did not give them enough space. So that was my fault. It's a lesson learned. And, last year was my first year having a large garden. I've done gardening before, but it was usually small raised beds. Last year was my first year doing a big garden. So, yeah. Note to self, leave plenty of room if you're going to plant those, because I did not, and that's why my watermelons did not do so hot. Now, Crimson Giant radishes, French breakfast radishes, little finger carrots, Detroit red beets, Brussels sprouts, golden acre cabbage, and snowball cauliflower. Out of all of these, last year I planted the French breakfast radishes, the little finger carrots, and I started Brussels sprouts. My Brussels sprouts, they grew, they got maybe 2-3 inches tall, and then I unfortunately had fungus gnats, and the larvae ate the plants from the bottom. And by the time I actually saw the bugs in the soil and the actual, what looks like fruit flies, but they're actually fungus gnats, the plant was already dead and it was not coming back, and it was too late to start more, so they didn't really pan out so well. The breakfast radishes were fantastic. I got plenty of radishes. They're nice and small. They're easy to eat. They taste great, and I had plenty of them. The little finger carrots, I learned another lesson. The soil has to be pretty soft, and because my plot was the first year I planted there, it was tilled with a large tractor, and then it was all raked and hoed, but it was not deep enough. Like, the soft soil didn't go down deep enough to actually form carrots. So although the top of the plants did great, they never really formed carrots. The soil was just too hard. This year I hope to try to get the giant radishes in, the golden acre cabbage, and the cauliflower, in addition to everything else. I don't know if I'll do the red beets or not. We'll see. The carrots, I'm going to have to definitely till down a lot deeper and make sure I've got enough soft soil to facilitate their growth. And they should be like the shorter carrots. They're not going to be full-length carrots because they're the little finger carrots. So the next thing I have, Italian oregano, giant parsley, Hishriko green onions, nasturtiums, lemon balm, and giant chamomile. The German chamomile, sorry. The nasturtiums are a flowering plant, and you can eat the flowers right off of it. They taste pretty peppery, but they're delicious, and they also look pretty if you throw them in a salad or something. Now, lemon balm and German chamomile, I am trying to start those in containers because I have them growing wild outside, but it's easier for me to harvest them and dry them for tea if they're in a container than to have to go out and hunt them down. So that's why I'm doing those in containers. And I do have those started over here, and I'll show you that. I learned something about lemon balm. Last year I planted it, it never sprouted. And I did some research, and I found out that you have to stratify the seeds for 7 to 14 days before they will sprout. And all that means is that basically you can take the plant pot once you plant the seed, you put it down in a Ziploc bag with moist soil, not too wet, whatever. Put it in your refrigerator for a week to 14 days. Take it out, and after 7 days it should sprout. So I've got this in my refrigerator right now. I'll update you guys and let you know when it finally does sprout. So that's good to go. I do have the oregano started. Last year I did plant the onions. And the giant parsley I don't think I planted last year. My mother-in-law planted some. And the final bag of heirloom seeds here. This is the tomatoes. The Hampson tomatoes, Brandywine tomatoes, large cherry tomatoes, orange habaneros, straight 8 cucumbers, and Boston pickling cucumbers. Now, out of this bag, I only planted the Hampson tomatoes because my mother-in-law planted plenty of other tomatoes and peppers, and she had more than she needed, so she gave me some, and I knew she was giving them to me, so I didn't plant any of these even though I bought the seeds. The Hampsons I did sow directly into the garden because they're one of the few tomatoes that you can do that with. They are bred to produce through the heat of summer more, and also a little bit longer of a season. So I was able to actually get some tomatoes off of those. Now, my cucumbers didn't do so hot. We had a drought, and I don't know if when the drought finally broke, if they got too much water all at once, or if I overwatered them to compensate for the drought. I don't know what happened. I've never had a problem with cucumbers before. They're usually super easy to grow. For whatever reason, they didn't do so hot for me. So this year, I'm going to try to get all of these going. The orange habaneros I might try as well. So that's about it for the heirloom seeds. I also have some of these seed packets of lettuce and chives, oregano, yellow squash, more yellow squash, more green beans, and some yellow beans, and some various other stuff. That's all just regular store-bought seed packets, nothing special, just run-of-the-mill, non-heirloom crapola. But it's still seeds, so there it sits. So let me go ahead and cut the camera, and I'll take you over to the windowsill and then over to the plant rack. Okay, guys, if you can see this, this is my German chamomile I have started in the windowsill. I will need to thin it and then repot it into a bigger plant pot. And I have oregano, which is really tiny right now. But again, same thing. Need to be thinned and replanted. And then I have my jewel nasturtiums here, which are doing well, and they already will probably need to be repotted. So let me move over to the other plant rack, guys. So over here, this is where I have my tomatoes started. This is actually my wine rack, which I kind of turned into a plant stand because when you have 3 cats, you have to get creative where you put things so things don't get knocked on the floor. So I'll just tell you what I have here. It's all cherry tomatoes and red Brandywine tomatoes. There's the 3 in the back corner here. This one, and this one. They're the cherry tomatoes, and everything else is Brandywine. I have my plant light here for artificial sun. Once these start to get tall enough, I will get a fan here blowing very gently on them to harden them up and help them build a little strength. And once it starts to get warm enough outside, and it's not too far off from actually planting them, I'll begin to take them outside for so many hours a day, let them get acclimated to the sun and the wind outside and the temperature before they go in the ground. They'll be hardened off, and I should have some nice plants. That's about it for this short little video, or long video at this point. But I just wanted to show you guys what I'm doing for my garden this year, and hopefully I'll get some footage of the garden once the, the threat of frost is over here. All right, thanks for watching.